What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and it's that time of year again. Colors changing, fruits ripening, and it's time for harvest. So let's see what we've got. In this video, I'm going to be comparing the new iPhone 6s to the old iPhone 6, and I want to give you guys an idea about whether or not it's worth the upgrade. Are the changes worthy of the new price tag, and is this thing truly as amazing as it seems? So the new iPhone 6s comes in one new color, and that's rose gold. A lot of people were worried it was going to be a little too pink, but let me assure you, it's a beautiful new color. It matches the autumn so well, and that being my favorite season, I absolutely love the new color. However, in its wake, as a result of the new color, Apple has removed the gold option for the standard iPhone 6 as well as the 128GB size option. So that just leaves these two colors. So you're probably wondering, how's this thing different than the iPhone 6? Well, everything, and I mean everything, has changed. There is so much different that may not be apparent right away, and that's why you're watching this video, right? Let's go ahead and jump right into all of the major changes. On the exterior, not much has changed. On the rear, the FCC labels are now gone. In their place, there's now an S logo. Also, the IMEI is no longer displayed underneath all that lettering. Instead, you'll find it on the nano SIM tray now, which Apple didn't do for the iPhone 6. Now, if you're familiar with the 6's weight, when you pick up the iPhone 6s, I guarantee you will notice a difference. There's not much on paper, 14 grams in between them, and the thickness is just 0.2 millimeters thicker on the iPhone 6s, but as soon as you pick them up, you will notice increased heft, and you will notice that it fits a little bit more snugly in your hand thanks to the thickness, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, I like it. I welcome the extra thickness because it feels like the phone is more planted in your hand. It's more solid. Heft gives an illusion of quality. So basically, they look nearly identical. The looks haven't changed, but what has? Guys, let me introduce you to the future. This is 3D Touch, and it's going to change the way you use your phone forever. I mean, it is amazing what this adds to your device. It's a pressure-sensitive display that can tell the difference between a light tap and a firm press. So you do need to put your weight into it. It's not as easy to trigger as you guys think, and that's in order to prevent from you doing it on accident. But what it does is it allows you to shortcut into certain areas and adds a whole new layer of interaction on your device. For example, on the home screen, you can shortcut into certain applications, into certain aspects of them. It's especially cool for third-party ones, and this is going to blow you away when you use it for the first time. I mean, I didn't expect it to be so good, especially on third-party applications. You can go into different sections of them. Not many support it now, but trust me, many will, and I'm so curious to see what third-party developers have to do with this. I mean, it's really cool what you can just do. In Instagram, for example, you can actually preview. This is called peek and pop, so you can preview on certain aspects of it, and if you press even harder, you'll jump into that page. There's only so many things you can do with a touchscreen, and Apple has certainly found the gold mine. We can make them bigger. I mean, you can make them curved, but when it comes to a next level of interaction, 3D Touch really is the future. It changes everything. I'm barely scratching the surface here, but some of my favorite uses for 3D Touch are the ability to preview links in messages without having to go into Safari, so you can get a quick preview of that link. If you want to go all the way into it, you can press, and that's called pop, so it'll pop into that app. But same thing for flights, for many things. You can actually go into the app switcher just by 3D touching on the left side of the display. Just like that, you can swap apps. It is so cool. But my favorite by far is the ability to use the trackpad with 3D Touch to quickly manipulate text. That is so cool. That blew my mind, just how natural it feels, and I can edit my text so much better and faster now. So Apple actually introduced a nice new feature called Live Photos. It brings your photos to life by taking a couple pictures before and after each photo, so it gives you a sense that they're animated, that they're just brought to life. And as I swipe through them, you can see the effect. When you actually 3D touch on a photo, you can see that effect as well. They only take up twice the memory as a standard photo, which I thought was pretty efficient, and you can set them as your actual wallpaper. So when you actually 3D touch on them, they'll come to life, and you can record the moment a little bit better. I feel like this could be very nostalgic. There's also a really cool front-facing flash. It's not just the screen flashing. Apple actually built a custom display driver chip to increase the intensity 3 times, and it's True Tone compatible, meaning it'll change the color of the display depending on the temperature. So notice how when I cover up the camera, make it darker, the flash changes colors. On the iPhone 6s, Hey Siri is always enabled. You don't need to be just charging like on the iPhone 6. So if your hands are occupied and you need to ask Siri something, just say, Hey Siri, and she'll come up and you can ask her whatever you want without needing to use the home button. And did I mention this thing got a makeover in terms of materials? It is so much more durable. The actual material used in the shell is twice as tough, so it's not going to bend in the display. The display, although it does shatter, you're going to have to try a lot harder to break it than on the iPhone 6. It's using a dual ion exchange process, making it twice as shatter resistant. And forget about the bend gate. This thing is so tough, it shocked me. So what's on the inside? The Apple A9 is a 1.8 gigahertz chip, and there's 2 gigabytes of RAM inside the iPhone 6s. This is the first iPhone period with 2 gigabytes of RAM. The iPhone 6 isn't too far behind, it doesn't seem like a very significant difference. But when we get into the actual Geekbench, wow, there's quite a difference here. And in terms of actual usability, the iPhone 6s is fluid fast. I'm experiencing very little stutter or bugs with it. Actually, it's just like butter. It is so smooth. iOS 9 is understandably custom tailored for the iPhone 6s, and it really shows. Not only is the 3D Touch new, but just generally using it, iOS 9 is so much faster. And this happens every single year. I look back and wonder, how was it so slow? I didn't see it being that slow. Is it really planned obsolescence? Not that it really matters, but the iPhone 6s does boot up considerably faster than the iPhone 6. I'm not sure if that'd be important for you, but I thought I'd include it. Also, the Safari experience is so much snappier. I mean, it's a lot faster with that new hardware. But my favorite speed difference is the second generation Touch ID. Just look at how much faster it is. It reads your finger so much faster, like right away. And this to me matters because I unlock my device so many times per day and all of that time adds up. So that brings me to camera. This is probably the biggest change besides 3D Touch on the iPhone 6s. It's gone from 8 megapixels to 12. Finally, since the 4S, we've been using 8 megapixels. There's also deep trench isolation, so just because we have a larger sensor doesn't mean the quality is diminished. And when it comes to video, the 6S gained 4K video capability and a sweet new 1080p 120 frames per second option. So although the aperture didn't change, there is such a difference in quality, especially when it comes to low light. But just take a look at the vibrance. The actual colors pop more on the iPhone 6s without being too ostentatious. The Galaxy S6, I've noticed, has not very true to life colors, whereas the iPhone 6s just pops. And compared to the 6 doesn't do too bad, but the 6s takes what that does well and even makes it better. Unfortunately, the iPhone 6s didn't receive optical image stabilization. It makes do with the digital, so it's not terrible. However, the iPhone 6s Plus is so smooth when recording with one hand, but the 6s is still good. Again, it's the colors. The colors just are amazing. It's so true to life, and I absolutely love the new 4K. However, take note, for 1 minute of 4K, 375 megabytes. That's megabytes, guys. That's insane. I mean, you're going to fill up your iPhone 6s base model 16 gigabytes in just a few minutes. So the photos on the iPhone 6s are absolutely stunning. I mean, the larger they get, they don't lose picture clarity like the iPhone 6 does. That 12 megapixels really does make a huge difference. And I'm just shocked. In every condition, the iPhone 6s did so well, especially in low light. And as a bonus, it's great that Apple updated the slow motion capabilities, so you get slightly better quality when recording in 120 frames per second. Now, an even bigger camera difference is the front-facing camera. You've gone from 1.2 to 5 megapixels. It's about time. Apple also threw in slow motion capability for the front-facing camera and panorama. Also, you get that awesome new True Tone flash, and quality is amazing, especially in lower light conditions. I mean, it's so much better. Thank you, Apple. So that's probably one of the best things about the iPhone 6s. The camera quality is absolutely amazing. However, I promise you one thing, you will regret buying a 16 gigabyte if you take pictures and videos. The live photos, the 4K, you will literally run out of storage in a matter of minutes if you shoot in 4K. So do get the 64 gigabyte option at least. It's money well spent. So that's all great, but how's the battery life? Unfortunately, it did shrink. Apple decided with the 3D Touch display they had to minimize the battery in order to make that fit. However, fear not, the battery life is officially the same. However, a lot of people are experiencing a lot of battery drainage on the 6s. Hopefully that does get resolved in the future, but battery life should more or less remain the same. So let's talk wireless. Apple's made some great updates here. First off, Bluetooth Bluetooth 4.2. Now there's a new standard 802.11ac plus MIMO for further increased range and more stable internet connection. And there's now 23 LTE bands on the unlocked iPhone 6s. So that means it has the most out of any smartphone, making it the best for international travel. Also, you'll get much faster download speeds on both Wi-Fi and LTE. So all around great updates to the wireless internals. Also quite important is the new Taptic engine. It completely replaces the vibration motor, and when using 3D Touch, it makes the experience so much more responsive. It's a very neat feeling, much better than just the vibration motor. So at this point, you're probably asking yourself, is it worth getting the iPhone 6s? Or if I have an iPhone 6, is it worth upgrading to it? Well, here's everything you get with the iPhone 6s. On the surface, it may not seem like that much has changed. Everything is internally. Of course, this is an S model revision. It's not a new redesign. But the 3D Touch, man, I tell you, it's going to completely change the way you use your phone. Pretty soon, we're going to be seeing so many third-party developers start to implement this into their apps, and it really will change everything. Just try it out for yourselves. Besides that, the cameras are the biggest upgrade. This thing is a lot faster. Not so much as you would think, but it really does matter in those little areas such as refreshing pages, going back and forth from applications, and Safari tabs. So should you buy one? Absolutely. This phone is amazing, especially if you don't already have a phone or if you have a really old one. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's $100 more than the iPhone 6, but it's definitely worth the $100 difference. Now, if you have an iPhone 6, is it worth the upgrade? Now, personally, for me, it was definitely worth the upgrade. The 3D Touch is such an incredible piece of technology. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. The cameras are amazing, and the new Taptic engine, all in all, it just wraps up into such an awesome package. So the iPhone 6s is a pretty sweet piece of technology. Whether or not all of those features are worth the update for you, you're going to have to decide for yourselves, but it really is a significant upgrade. Probably the biggest S upgrade in the iPhone's history. So guys, thanks so much for watching. With this video, hopefully I did help you decide whether or not it's worth upgrading from a 6 to a 6s. Let me know if I missed anything down below in the description, and check out some of my other videos, namely the durability drop test, water test, bend test. It's quite interesting to see just how durable this thing got. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy your iPhone 6s if you decide to upgrade. Peace.